Hey guys, welcome to today's video where I'm gonna cover Nasdaq, the weekly outlook for Nasdaq. Basically, I'm gonna break down my biasness for the coming week and what I'm anticipating from the higher time frame to the lower time frame. So currently, what we have on the screen, we have a weekly chart, right? And I'm trying to understand what price is trying to display for the long term, right? So on the weekly, I definitely look for my long term biasness, and currently what I'm seeing currently from just the candlesticks themselves, right? So with the weekly, I don't even bother myself with doing a lot of analysis and drawings and all that stuff because the chart has got a few information to work with, right? So in here, obviously we've seen that we had this swing, right, with this massive swing, and then from the massive swing, obviously broke structure here, right? We broke structure here, and then price decided to come all the way down, right? Decided to come all the way down here, and yeah, the past 4 weeks we had this strong momentum, this strong bearish momentum to the downside, right? That indicated that the buyers are in control, right? And then last week, but we had a kind of like a pullback and then a continuation to the downside, right? So we had a pullback to the upside, fill up the imbalance here, and then we had a continuation to the downside. So with this momentum, the momentum that we saw last week plus the momentum that we saw 3 weeks before, right? This 3 week momentum that we saw here, this indicated to us a very, very strong indication of bearishness into the market. So I'm bearish on the long-term basis. I'm bearish until we wipe out these points of liquidity right here, right? These points of liquidity right here, and also we become oversold, right? At this point, we get into this oversold area. I'll be looking out for potential reversals to the upside, but currently I'm anticipating price to push to the downside, right? I'm anticipating price to push to the downside. And also another thing that I would highlight is, as you can see, the previously when we had swings, right? Before we have swings, prices is around the overbought oversold area. So here when we had a swing to the downside, evidently price was overbought, right? Was overbought. And then here when we had price swing to the upside, right here, right? We had price swing to the upside. As you can see, price was oversold, right? So when price is oversold, that's when we tend to have the swings. So I definitely use that to my biasness, to my confluence, and to come up with my biasness. So currently I'm looking at price to reverse once we get around these areas, right? So we are almost in this area. So this week can be the last bearish week that we can have, right? For the next 2 months, and then we can have a push to the upside, right? So we can see, we can wait for price to come around this area right here, around these swing levels, right? Probably this is the last swing level I can see price come to, right? And then this would determine whether we're going to continue to the downside or not. But if this swing low, if this swing low gets to hold price, then we should anticipate a reversal to the upside. So currently we're looking at the bearish conditions in the market. So from the weekly, I'll go to my daily time frame. This is where I'm going to draw a bit more charts, because as you can see, price is more fractal here. You're seeing a bit more information to work with, right? So I've already done my analysis for the daily outlook, and currently this is my view of the daily. As you can see, we grab the buy side liquidity on the other side, right? By the buy side, we grab the buy side liquidity, price came down, right? Grab the internal liquidity in the swing, right? Changed character there. And then last week we had this pullback, right, to fill up this imbalance, right? This imbalance, and then we had a swing, and then we had a bit of a dead market, and then we had a continuation on a Thursday, and then Friday closed with the bearish candle. But then we had this massive rejection right here on a daily candle. So we had this massive rejection on a daily candle. So after seeing this rejection, obviously I built some confluences around it. So as you can see, price, right? Price is around these levels of liquidity pools, right? This is what we call liquidity pools, where we see we have a lot of order blocks around this area that price might react off, right? So the major order block that we had, the clear one, which is this one here, was grabbed by price, right? Price took it out, invalidated it, but on its way down, it forms this divergence right here where we see price breaking to the downside, breaking lows, and the stochastic on the other hand is telling us that price is not breaking any lows. This indicates some form of divergency, right? Some form of manipulation, stop hand. So in this case, I'll be looking at price to retrace, right? To retrace off this level into probably this order block here to fill up the imbalance above, and then continue with the trend to the downside. Because remember, so the outlook for the week is that we are bearish, right? But definitely we can have some pullbacks into the into the buy side liquidity before we continue to the downside. So this is the most that we can go to, right, for the week. In my anticipation, this is the most that we can go to. Price, you see price going to form the high of the week and then continue with the trend, right? So this is on the daily chart. And then as you can see, this is my weekly checklist, right? These are things that I've identified: imbalance, order block, sell side liquidity, right? And price being oversold, and also my bullish divergency, right? So this is just like a scratch of what I've looked at, right, in terms of coming up with my business for the coming week. So this is on the higher time frame, and then I've also sent through a setup on the group, right, on my Discord. I've sent out a setup highlighting the pattern that I'm looking for Monday morning, right, for tomorrow. So with Monday, I'm obviously looking for this typical pattern that I'm always trading, right? Let me just draw a model for you guys, a bullish model. So the pattern is quite simple, where we see price accumulate, right? Price accumulating in either a ranging way, or it can accumulate in a trending way, right? So if it's accumulating in this way, right, we see price accumulating like that from these highs, and then price takes out that high, comes out for a pullback, and then it shoots the upside. So I'm always looking out for this setup where we have price grab liquidity down there, and then from there we have price come to fill up some imbalance, right, or get to a certain order block before it continues with the trend, right, into my OTE level. So this is what we currently have on Nasdaq, right? So on Nasdaq, we saw price last week push to the upside all the way, right? Strongly shifting structure at this moment, and then we had a lot of stop hands with this stop hand right here, right? We had a stop hand right there before price pushed to the upside, and then also we had a stop hand about here, right? So this is not a stop hand per se, but it's a break of structure. With all this right here was manipulation, because I remember that I was anticipating buys to the upside, right? I took my first entry around this area right here, because I was looking at price, right? I was looking at price to break structure here, right? To break structure here, and then come in for this block right here, and then we pushed to the upside. So we had like a 1% gain, and then price took us out, right? So I wouldn't say my entry was early or anything. It's just a setup, just a sample size, right, going wrong. I wouldn't say it was a bad trade or anything like that, because it definitely gave me the setup that I was looking for. I had a shift of structure. It came into my OTE, and it just failed us after that. So I wouldn't blame the strategy. I would just say the system. It's part of the sample size. You're gonna have bad trades. Yeah. So in this case, on Monday, I'm anticipating this right here. Price obviously get into this imbalance. So I'll be looking at price to come down here, right? To come down and fill up this imbalance that was formed in the 1 hour, and then have some confirmation entry, and then looking for push, for bullish movement up here for price to set the weekly high, right? Because remember, on a higher time frame outlook, we are bearish. So when I see price from the high of the week, either on a Monday or a Tuesday, right? So I'll be looking at price from the high of the week, and then to push to the downside later on. So yeah, guys, this is my weekly biasness of Nasdaq from the higher time frame to the lower time frame. Hopefully you found it insightful, and you've learned one or two things in how I build my biasness. And then also, I think I sent a Euro. Yeah, so I also sent a Euro USD setup, right? Let me see where I can get this. Yeah, so I think I sent it. It was right here. Okay, so this is my Euro USD setup for the coming week, for tomorrow actually, not for the coming week. So it's just for tomorrow because it's in the lower time frames. So with your USD, as you can see, there's a lot of correlation with Nasdaq, right? The past 1 week, I think we've seen a lot of correlation with Nasdaq. So with your USD, it gives us the same pattern, right, that we saw at Nasdaq, right? We see price manipulate down here, grabs the structure, grabs liquidity, changes character, right? And then looking for an OTE. So as you can see, this is a typical pattern that I'm always looking out for, guys. It's a typical pattern that I was looking out for: accumulation, right? And then price grabs liquidity down there, comes push, changes character here, displaces upwards, and then it just shoots to the upside, right? So this is a typical pattern that I'm looking for. Price has got a lot of inefficiency that you need to catch up with up here that we're targeting. And yeah, so I'm basically bullish to both Nasdaq and Euro USD for Monday, right? For Monday. So yeah, guys, make sure you do check out my next analysis on the group. I'm gonna send updates, obviously, of the entries, right? So what I do is that during the London session, I send an entry setup, and also during the New York session, I send an entry setup because I trade those two sessions specifically, and also on some other days, I trade the London close, right? So yeah, guys, I'm gonna send entry setups to update you guys in terms of how I'm looking at the business for tomorrow. Make sure that you are in the Discord group or Telegram group. If you haven't joined, make sure you do. And if you want an advanced course in terms of how you can analyze the market, you can also just check out. You can check out the links on the Discord group, right? Yeah, I think that all the links are there. You can check them out, and also I'll leave the link in the bio where you can check out everything, every service that has been offered. All right, guys. Make sure that you do comment, like, subscribe this video, and click on the notification button so that next time I drop the video, you can definitely be notified and check it out.